Hi, 5th grade. So the next skill that we're going to work on is something called annotation. Annotation is taking notes while you're reading a story, and it allows you to write your notes directly in the book or on the story that you're reading. You might be wondering, well, what am I supposed to write on the actual page? Well, that's where your Think Aloud strategies will come in handy. If you review your Think Aloud strategies and take a look at the right-hand side where it says words you might think or say, these are some sentence starters that can help you figure out what you should write when you're taking notes. So for example, if while you're reading, you suddenly find yourself asking a question, maybe you want to clarify what's happening or what you're reading. Well, when you write your note, you can use any one of these sentence starters here to get you going. So you might say, I got confused when, where was, why did, and finish the sentence in the way that you think makes the most sense for what you're trying to figure out. Another thing that you might do while you read, as we discussed when we were studying Think Alouds, is making connections. So you might connect the text to yourself, and then you might start your annotation with something that says, this reminds me of, or this is similar to. Similarly, if you have to reread, you might reread a passage because you think it's important or just to refresh your memory. You might start your annotation with I didn't expect or I got confused when. So let's see how it works with the story called The No Guitar Blues by Gary Soto. I'm going to read the story out loud, and since I'm using my laptop to take my notes, I'm going to use these little sticky notes right here to add my notes whenever I think it would be a good time. So let's get started. No Guitar Blues by Gary Soto. Well, I'm going to use some background knowledge right now and add a note. I know that Gary Soto is a Hispanic American writer, and he usually tends to write about Hispanic Americans. So I'm going to add that note. Okay, so I just added my first note. Why is this important? Well, it's important because Gary Soto might be using words that are Spanish, and he might be talking about the specific culture of Hispanic characters and families. So I might want to think about what I know about Hispanic families and Hispanic culture that might help me prepare to read the story and then better understand the story. Okay, let's keep going. The moment Fausto saw the group Los Lobos on American Bandstand, he knew exactly what he wanted to do with his life: play guitar. His eyes grew large with excitement as Los Lobos ground out a song while teenagers bounced off each other on the crowded dance floor. He had watched American Bandstand for years and had heard Ray Camacho and the Teardrops at Romaine Playground, but it had never occurred to him that he too might become a musician. That afternoon, Fausto knew his mission in life: to play guitar in his own band, to sweat out his songs and prance around the stage, to make money and dress weird. I'm going to add in a personal response. That's when you share how you feel about something that happened. I remember wanting to take guitar lessons too. So what I wrote was I wanted to take guitar lessons too when I was younger, but I was too shy to want to be on stage. So that's a personal response that I can now add to my notes and refer back to when I think about the story after I read the entire thing. Okay, let's keep going. Fausto turned off the television set and walked outside, wondering how he could get enough money to buy a guitar. He couldn't ask his parents because they would just say, money doesn't grow on trees, or what do you think we are, bankers? And besides, they hated rock music. I have another personal response and a text-to-life connection. My mother said the same thing. She always would say, money doesn't grow on trees whenever I wanted something. So I can relate to how frustrated Fausto must be feeling at this particular moment. I'm also going to make a note that wanting the wanting the guitar might end up being Fausto's conflict or problem in the story. So I'm going to want to keep an eye on that, since it sounds like he doesn't have enough money to purchase the guitar. Okay, let's keep reading. They were into the conjunto music of Lydia Mendoza, Flaco Jimenez, and Little Joe and La Familia. And, as Fausto recalled, the last album they bought was the Chipmunks to sing Christmas favorites. But what the heck, he'd give it a try. He returned inside and watched his mother make tortillas. He leaned against the kitchen counter, trying to work up the nerve to ask her for a guitar. Finally, he couldn't hold back any longer. "Mom," he said, "I want a guitar for Christmas." So I'm going to stop here and make a connection, and first I'm going to pay attention to the description of the family in the kitchen. I can visualize Fausto nervous, trying to talk to his busy mom. The other connection I can make to this passage is that I can, since I'm at the end of a page, it's a really good idea to summarize and see what I can understand and if I know what happened by the end of this page. So basically, and I can add my summary anywhere on the page, basically I know that Fausto is a kid with a dream to be a rock star, but his family doesn't have the money for a guitar. Okay, so I hope that you can see that just within reading a first page, there's lots of opportunities to respond to the text with notes. So annotation is a combination of using your Think Aloud strategies, but writing them down. This way you have many notes by the time you finish reading the story, and you can use all of these notes to help you in your understanding of the story and for any writing assignments that you get in class. Okay, I hope that you learned a lot from this video. Please watch it again if you need to see exactly how you should annotate and what you should annotate. Bye-bye.